What's up, y'all? I'm Brandon Atlanta Man Bain, coming to you live right here from Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, Thunderbolt, Georgia, man. Thank you guys for tuning again. Rubbing and grubbing. Rubbing is racing, grubbing is tasting. Coming to you live right here again every Wednesday, 6 o'clock. Man, tell you what, been a great week. Happy Cinco de Mayo to everybody out there tuned in tonight, man. Hope you guys have a great time. Be safe out there as always. Come by, get you some chips, a little bit of nachos out of Coach's, man. Gonna move right along into word of the day, y'all. If you've tuned in, which hopefully you guys have, right above me is gonna be a word Lawrence is gonna throw up there. If you want to play along, grab your favorite adult beverage, whether it be a beer, shots, mixed drinks, whatever it may be. Every time I say this word up here during the show, take a sip. Kids, you can play along too. As I always say, get some Mountain Dew, get jacked up, have a little bit of fun, man. So the word of the day this week is going to be that. And the word of the day last week was safety. So I'm pretty sure I said that a few times. There were some folks out there who had a good time. Oh, yeah. Lawrence just blinked about 5 times like this, so I'm sure if you played along, you had a good time. I'm going to move right along, get into it. NASCAR news, man. Hey, key points going through. Kyle Busch goes ahead, locks down his first win of the season. As you all know, I flipped him over. It didn't take long. I get to flip him back over, man. Good respect for him. Him and Bushy, new crew chief, finally got that first win for them. What a good win. Going to propel them on as the season goes on. We'll get into that just here a little bit later on in the show, man. Hey, big weekend this weekend, y'all. If you see the hat I got on, this is who I'm kind of paying my tribute, throwback to this weekend, man. That's going to be Kenny Schrader up here in that Kodiak, man. Great sponsor, great throwback scheme. Love it to death. Great driver as well. So definitely that's my throwback. But throwback weekend here at Darlington, man. One of my favorite races of the year happens to fall on Mother's Day. There's only been a certain amount of times throughout NASCAR's history that this is following Mother's Day. It was always that night race before. A few other places had a Mother's Day weekend race. But I tell you what, Darlington is one of the ones, a staple in NASCAR history. And not only that, on Mother's Day, man, it's going to be a big deal right here. So definitely make sure you tune into that. Let's see, man. The official reveal of the next gen car. I think that's probably the biggest, hottest news out in the sport right now. We've been waiting on that. They've been working on this since later on in 2018, man. I think they finally got this thing down and perfected the role. It's going to be a game changer, not only for what we see drivability-wise from the drivers being able to actually drive the race cars, aerodynamics, the way it detours air compared to what we're racing now. Not only that, but safety there again, always the biggest issue. Pretty sure NASCAR's done a really good job figuring out what they need to do and getting that done and progressing in the safety aspect as they're going to as the sport progresses, man. So big shout out on that, man. Hey, if you guys are tuning in, like I say all the time, man, like, share, follow us. We got Instagram, we got Twitter, we got a YouTube channel, man. Go on there, subscribe, like our show, man. Big help there again. If you know you've tuned in before, not only is this about NASCAR, it's about charity. The more followers we get, the more money we help raise for a local charity here or whatever charity event we got going on at Coach's, man. So like I said, please like, share, follow us. It means a great deal, man. Cinco de Mayo again, man. Like I said, usually I'd be out somewhere getting some tacos and some cold beers, but tonight I'm here doing NASCAR and hanging 10, man. But while I take a little break between NASCAR stuff, I do want to wish a happy birthday out there to my boy, Mr. Caden Quick, turning 15 today. Big birthday for my man out there. Like I said, was my boy, turning into a fine young man. So happy birthday, bud. Love you to death. I'll see you here in just a little bit up at Coach's, man. But hey, guys, like I said, man, we're going to get right into this Kansas recap. And what a recap it's going to be, because that was a pretty good race right there at Kansas. So, like I said earlier, Kyle Busch bringing home the win, locking down that first win of the season for him, and not only that, the first win under the new crew chief driver combo. So that's a really big deal. I think that kind of shows the direction that they've been headed, where he's trying to get. He's moving right along, man. He's warming up. He's got to win. I think they're going to go and experiment a little bit more. And this is the guy that no matter what point he's at in his career or what point we're at in the season, one win can lead this guy to getting a boat full of wins. It wouldn't surprise me to see him win numerous races this year, multiple races, kind of fall back into form. That's what I expected, at least at the beginning of this season. You know, having a few guys, having some trouble still as well, getting caught up in some stuff, also getting caught up in his own stuff. But here he is, locks down a win at Kansas, moving into those playoffs probably, and I tell you what, man, you let him in, and he's got just as good a shot as any driver out there to go out and get another championship. So big kudos to Kyle Busch and that 18 team over there, Joe Gibbs again, on that win at Kansas. Man, Heartbreak City all over again. This is about the second time this season I've seen this happen, if not the third time I've seen this happen to this guy, and that's going to be Kyle Larson, man. I mean, the 5-car coming back after what he went through last year, you know, still going through his training, doing what he does best, getting out and driving the car. Like I said, I thought it was going to take a little bit more time behind the seat to actually get him back into the groove. Moving away from Chip Ganassi, coming to Hendrick Motorsports, probably the biggest and best move of his career. I think that is one guy there that you put him in some of the best equipment in the sport, and he's going to show out. You know, we watched him get that win earlier on in the season. We watched him lead 280-something laps there in Atlanta and come home a little short. They're getting beat out by Ryan Blaney at the end. Could have very well won that race. And then we see him again this weekend leading 100-plus laps, or right around 100 or more laps, having a dominating car in early stages. Just there again, that late restart, which we're going to get into, and got a little aggressive there, and it cost him a little bit. But, hey, man, when it's time to go, not upset one bit. But like I said, man, what a heartbreak again for this guy. If he keeps running that way and dominating and leading the laps he's leading, I'm telling you, it's a matter of time before he starts rolling off these wins, man. So keep an eye on that 5-car. Like I said, hey man, get out of here with that stuff. We're not talking about that stuff around here, man. Hey, matter of fact, hey, that was 4 times you owe me $4 in my swear bucket. $4 in my swear bucket. Hey, like I said, Sean Erb owes me $4. Write that down. I owe you in my swear bucket for dropping the KB name. Anyways, man, at the end of the day, not taking anything away talent-wise, just not my favorite guy. But back to Kyle Larson, got to keep running good. Got to keep he's got to get the job done. That's the biggest key right now. He's going out leading a lot of laps, making a lot of noise, showing the dominance in the cars they have, but he's not getting those finishes when he does so. Just got to wrap it up. You know, the question be posed, is he right now the hottest guy on 1.5 miles? I mean, if you're asking me for my personal opinion, I've got to say yes. Even though he's only got that one win, even though he's, you know, dominated a couple other racetracks and come up short, right now when we're going to 1.5 miles, maybe not point-wise, maybe not average finish-wise, but showing up week to week and having the dominance, I'm going to tell you right now that is probably the hottest guy on 1.5 miles. Behind him, I'm going to have Will. There again, another Hendrick driver, consistently doing it in a different way. Got to win at Miami early in the year. Just another guy that is consistently running good, getting those finishes on 1.5 miles and getting those points, man. So 2 guys to watch out for. But right now, Kyle Larson, the hottest guy on 1.5 miles, just got to go out and get the checkers, man. So like I said, probably going to happen. As we talked about, that late restart right there might have cost Kyle Larson the race. Oh, man.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, man?
How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you doing?
I don't know what it was. 2 episodes ago, I think. It was only because I recognized his name, and I said, Kyle Busch, and he was like, Toyota. We don't do Toyota, but what happened last week, buddy?
That was the Talladega we were talking about.
I just want to wonder what happened last week.
Oh, last week, man, hey, he got it. He got the job done, man.
I mean, this guy right here is the only reason I'm starting to keep up with it. Keep up what's going on, and I swear I'm riding down the road, and I hear my boy Rusty Frederick on the radio doing the sports network.
Right,
he goes,
right.
And by the way, Kyle Busch wins today. I went, whoo. Hold on a second. Need to go see my boy Brandon.
That's it. Hey, man.
Got here tonight before Brandon got here. I said, Lawrence, he coming tonight? I can't wait. He goes, oh, yeah, please get in there.
You know he's going to rag me a little bit, man. But
hey,
at
man.
the end of the day, like I said, it's never a question of the man's talent. It's never a question of the man's driving ability.
You just don't like his car.
It's just not he's not my taste personality-wise, man.
I know it.
It's kind of like it's the man crush, you know, like you like your guy, like, yeah, that's my boy, you know, I could hang with him. man. Not that I'm not saying this guy might not be fun to hang with, but I just like a guy a little more humble.
Is that his car right there?
Yeah, man. We got a little Kyle Busch, man.
Hold on a second. Everybody.
Yeah.
Like a little kid. I don't know.
Well,
and then he did the spin. Did he do the spin at the end of it?
A little burnout. Hey, I should have let you come up and touch that and flip them back over.
See, I didn't even know what car was his, man.
Right.
I just heard Kyle Busch.
Right. Sean Herb, hey,
but I love you, brother.
One of the hosts, along with his brother on the 19th hole, man. Always showing support up here.
Always a pleasure to be with you, brother.
Hey, love you too,
Keep it up, Bubba.
Hey, like he said, man, sitting there, Kyle Busch, never a question about the talent, never a question about the drivability of the race car. Just a question of the personality for me. And as he's getting older, he's getting better. I mean, it's a guy you love to hate, right? So, I mean, not that I hate him. I don't hate anybody. But I'm telling you right now, man, Kyle Busch, great race car driver, just not the personality for me, man. But as I was getting back to you, man, those late restarts, right? That late restart probably cost Kyle Larson that race, I would think. I think if it went green, he was definitely gonna get up there, pull away with it, possibly. Just had to see how it played out. But got a little crazy there. Got into it a little bit with Ryan Blaney on that restart. You know, who knows what happened. Jamming a run up, or, you know, not getting a really good restart on Blaney's part, or Larson getting a great one. Push there, got a little squirrely, washed both of them up, cost both of them some track position there. So, you know, that's the name of the game. I said it last week, I absolutely love the progressive banking that Kansas has. It opens up a whole new form of racing that I think is going to be great in the for NASCAR. I think it's very important that we keep our staples in the sport, that we keep our traditional tracks. A very good amount of those tracks need to stay traditional, but there are quite a few. I think that as we learn more about this progressive banking, especially with the new car, let's see how it's going to race, open up more lanes, open up more opportunities for these drivers to go out and adjust their cars on different lanes. I think it puts on for a great race and great show, and what drama that we sit there and we look for, man. When we talk about, you know, late restarts as a fan is something you love to see, unless it's your guy out front pulling away. So, you know, it's just one of those parts of the sport, man. Kansas has put it on. That makes 3 out of the last 4 that's went into a green-white checkered or a 3-lap type shootout. These races always have some drama, it seems like, at the end there at Kansas, and I think that has a lot to do with progressive, and I think that has a lot to do with the way that these cars set up to run there. So kudos to NASCAR, kudos to the drivers putting on a great show on Sunday, man. As I said, Kyle Busch wins the Bushy Mcbush 400. I mean, if that's not ironic in its own self right there, which I feel like I should probably throw $1 in here for a cuss word, even though that wasn't a cuss word, but somewhere, somebody right there is probably, you know, mind in the gutter. So I'm going to throw $1 in there for that. But, you know, like I said, first win of the season for him. Great chance. Petty, y'all, on one of the, you know, consecutive seasons with a win. He's been in the sport at a very young age. Pretty much since he's been in, he's won in everything he's driven, still continues to win in everything that he drives. This is a guy that can very easy go out in the Cup Series and get that one win, not multiple wins every year, to, you know, catch the king on those consecutive seasons with a win. So it's a record. You know, a lot of people envy, especially the way when you're compared in any record book to Richard Petty, the king. You're kind of put up there in a class of your own. So that Kyle Busch hunting a record, that's a long time coming, and as long as he keeps locking down that win and doing the Kyle Busch thing, getting those wins, I think he's going to be just fine. Has a great chance to catch him and pass him on that, man. You know, hey, Kevin Harvick coming in second. Big shout out to Kevin Harvick, man. You know, if you watched last week, I had him on who's hot and who's not, and he wasn't kind of on that side of the list. He was kind of teasing there. And we're going to get to that in just a little bit, man. But what a good second place finish, especially after bringing it home, and a good finish there at Talladega as well. So a couple back-to-back good finishes leads me to believe got some momentum going, maybe getting back on the right side of the fence and on the right side of the tracks, man, and becoming more consistent, maybe a competitor week in and week out. We haven't seen him lead those laps yet. Haven't seen him get those stage wins, but he's up there at the finish, you know, up there towards the end of the race at the past couple to get the finish. So I think it's something only with a matter of time. He's definitely going to get that win. And I tell you what, this weekend at Darlington could be one of those places where this guy comes on and puts a show, and we're just going to have to wait and see, man. So there again, Kevin Harvick, wouldn't count him out here coming up this weekend at Darlington. You know, there again, moving right along, got to give a huge shout out to my boy Chase Elliott. brings it home fifth. I said this is one thing that they're lacking. I wanted to see, and I said it about the Hendrick organization at the beginning of the season on Rubbin' and Grubbin', not so much Chase himself, but the organization. I wanted to see what they did this year on mile and a half. I wanted to see how they competed with the Toyotas and the Fords, because it seemed like over the past couple years between Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex, these guys have just been going out, not to mention the Penske guys, these guys have been going out and killing mile and a half racetracks. So I wanted to see where Hendrick had made leaps and bounds from 2020 season to this year's season. And I tell you what, for William Byron to win Miami, Kyle Larson to win Vegas, also have opportunities at a couple other racetracks, Alex Bowman getting that win. The only guy we're not talking about right now a mile and a half or those type racetracks is going to be Chase Elliott, So I think that him bringing it home fifth this past week, having a really good run, having a strong race car, driving it up there, taking home what he could, kind of shows maybe there again they're getting their program on. And another thing that just kind of comes to my mind when we're talking about it, and I've been wanting to talk about it on the show for a couple weeks, and I want you guys to throw a comment out there, tell me what you think about it. But Chase Elliott is one of these guys, if you watch, unless he has an absolute dominant race car, and he is the class of the field, he doesn't go out front and push to get the positions. He kind of, drives the car to where he's at, gets in a comfortable position through the middle, into the stage one, middle part of the race, and then right there in the last, third of that race, that last stage of that, say that last 50 laps, he really starts turning it on, which I think speaks kudos for him being the age, having the experience he does, and understanding how a race progresses or how they plan for a race. Not everybody race plan is going to be the same. There's some guys that are going to be aggressive. A lot of that depends on starting position, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, I love the way that they outline a race and they run that race 9 times out of 10. And I think it's something to keep an eye out for. And there again, pays dividends, bringing home that 5th place finish right there at Kansas, man. But like I said, let me know how you guys feel on it. Let me know, what would be your style of racing if you were behind the wheel. Would it be more aggressive to get out front, to try to get out front, or would it be to understand you've got a 3rd place car, you'll run in 5th until it's time to put the pedal to the metal, man, and get there and get that win. So, comment on it. Let me know what you guys think. I feel like Chase does a great job of it, and it's something I'm proud of being a fan of his for, man. So great for that. As I said earlier, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson get into it right there on that last restart, man, and open the door up for some other guys, because I think those 2 guys had a good shot had they got a good restart there. Just kind of stumbled and bumbled a little bit, but at the end of the day, man, that's just how it goes, man. It's one of those deals that it happens. It's a racing thing. It's time to go. You got 3 laps to make it happen. Obviously, you got to get around the guy in front of you. You got to make it go, make a chance of it. Larson went for it, pushed a little hard, cost both of them probably a top, just say 7-8 finish, I would think. But that's just how it goes, especially with 2 guys that got wins. It's not a bad deal to do. If you're going to do it. You got to win. You've got some safety there in those playoffs, in the playoff picture. So at the end of the day, if you're going to take a chance, why not take a chance? So just one of those racing deals. Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick both bring it home inside the top 10 with Matt Benedetto and Chris Buescher. So you got almost half the guys in the top 10, 5 guys that, good race car drivers, but we don't talk about them going out and getting those, top 5s or competing for wins week in and week out like we do the big names. But beat a lot of big names out there, all of them to finish inside that top 10. I think that's great. I think there's quite a few of these guys also that are building momentum as the race kind of gets through that first quarter part, getting into the summer months. There's some guys heating up, man, so got to keep an eye out for some new players coming up, doing their thing. Hey, guy didn't make top 10, but I want to give him a big shout out. Daniel Suarez, man, at Trackhouse Racing, there again. I've said it numerous times. I think that this might be the most impressive, new entry team into the sport that we've had all season so far. We talked big about Bubba Wallace and that Jordan, Denny Hamlin owned team there, expecting big things out of them with that Gibbs Alliance. They've showed some dominance, had some good runs, maybe not always got those finishes, but there again, it's one of those things that, is kind of hurting them a little bit. To me, Trackhouse has done a better job going out and competing, going out and being consistent, and going out and getting those finishes. So it's something to take notes from, but like I said, I really Daniel Suarez is doing a great job over there, man, and I think that it's only up from here for that team. So they just got to keep it going, man. Got to keep the momentum flowing, keep it riding, keep getting those finishes. So, point standings as of right now, we'll go ahead and break it down. Denny Hamlin still leading the regular season points. No surprise. Couple bad finishes. There again, that just tells you how much he was dominating that to begin with. Martin Truex is right there in second, right behind him. But at the end of the day, Denny's still leading. Now we go to the playoff picture as of right now. It kind of flops around. Truex there, still in front of Denny Hamlin, getting those stage wins, getting those multiple race wins, which Hamlin has not done yet. But there again, I think that's something you just got to kind of keep an eye out for. That's going to go back and forth, I think, through as the season goes on. We're only 11 races in, man. We're going on 12 races here. We still got 14 races until we get to that cutoff. So as I say, got a long way to go. A lot of things can change. A lot of things can happen. But something to keep an eye on. Matt Benedetto, with his strong runs the past couple weeks, moves into that bubble position into 16th, man. He's at the cutoff. He's in. Kurt Busch is right there in 17th on the outside, looking in. You got a couple guys right there, Tyler Reddick, and you also have, Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is also right there in that point race for that bubble position. Got to watch the bubble as well. That kind of tells you what guys are below that line coming up, who's right there and who's kind of falling back to it. So, something, always look at that cutoff, that 16th position, 15, 16, 17, 18. That right there, that battle for those four guys flops almost week to week, and it's really something to keep an eye on. Makes it a little more entertaining to see who's in and who's out. 10 different winners in 11 races this season so far. Still got some really big name guys out there that have not locked down that win yet. And I think it's coming. Harvick, Hamlin, and Chase Elliott, 3 more right there would make 13 winners right there out of 14 races if that was to happen. That's something to be said in itself. That's a pretty wild. It just shows what one season does to draw the field back together, getting a little bit tighter, and getting it going. But while we're talking about playoffs and the points and the run for the championship this year, another point I want to bring up, which I'd love for anybody out there to comment on, definitely drop a comment, something entertaining, something I've been thinking about as well. How many of these teams that have put more eggs in the 2022 basket in that next generation car and trying to learn as much as they can about the data off it and going ahead and getting a jump start working on it, compared to trying to run everything that they've learned over the past few years with this car and competing for that championship. The biggest team that comes to my mind is obviously Kevin Harvick. We saw him last year be so dominant, 9 wins, and didn't make those playoffs, but 9 wins, and you expect him to turn around this season and do the same thing again. And Stewart-Haas as a whole is kind of slack. They got a couple young drivers over there, but a couple guys, veterans that have some wins and know how to race these cars and know how to run a race. So you just expected more. Now, with that being said, you still have the upper tier equipment, as I say, the Gibbs, the Hendricks, the Penske's, the Stewart-Haas. But to watch the rest of this field draw in, it just feels like I don't think those major teams have taken everything that they can and put it into this season compared to, I think, what they're going to do for this next-gen car, under the understanding that this is what we're going to be running from here on out. The bigger of a head start you can get on some of these other organizations, the better. Obviously, NASCAR's not dropping out as much technical data as they can, but these teams are invited to go and test this car, so that data that they get off of the tire wear, off of the aerodynamic type stuff, off of the feedback between throttle response, brake bias, everything else that goes in with it, the data they get with the group of engineers that these teams have and the sport has, it's only a matter of time before they get on it. So question asked, what do you think guys are out there doing? Name a team that you think's got all the eggs in the basket for this year. Name one you think that doesn't have it all in there and they're looking forward, man. Be a great conversation piece for next week. Greatly appreciated, y'all. Like I say, man, 10 different guys winning 11 different races. You got Michael McDowell, you got Christopher Bell, you got Kyle Larson, you've got Martin Truex with 2 wins. That is the only guy with multiple wins yet this season. Joey Logano, Brad Keselowski, William Byron, Alex Bowman, Ryan Blaney, and Kyle Busch all locking in a win this season. So it's going to be interesting here coming into Darlington, what we're going to have go down, who's going to step up to the plate, who's going to go lock down that first win of the season, and who's going to shrink this playoff field as we get into these summer months, man, because these months coming up is the make or break for these playoffs. This is where you get ready and you start, start getting your stuff together. So we're going to have to see who comes in, man. But moving into checkered flag for charity, man, as I said, the 18 car of Kyle Busch wins again. Man, as we do, 18 is never a good number. We're always going to round it up to the 20 right there. So $20 from the Rubbin' and Grubbin crew going into the checkered flag for charity bucket, the swear bucket, raising it for help save one of our own. Like I say all the time, guys, this is the charitable show. We talk about NASCAR. We love NASCAR. We love Coach's Corner, but at the same time, we absolutely love raising money for the charity and the charity causes that we do here at Coach's. And as a collective, we have raised a good amount of money. With that 20 in there brings our season total here on Rubbin' and Grubbin, $3,029 raised right here on this show at Coach's Corner, man. Rubbin' and Grubbin, trying to do the best we can. So as I say all the time, guys, if you want to come by Coach's, stop by us. Nickels, pennies, dimes, 10s, 20s, 100s, 50s, does not matter. Make sure you come by, throw some in a bucket, give some to the server, let them know you want to make a donation to help save one of our own, man. Helping us give back to a charity that's local here in Savannah that does nothing but help give back to local families. So they've helped with a couple huge fundraisers we've done here. They continue to help our local community. So this year we've decided we're going to help them help others, man. And it works out great for everybody, and it's been a great pleasure so far. Going to continue to do our best to raise as much as we can, but none of that is possible without you guys out there. So like I said, please stop by, get a feel good for a day, donate a little bit of money for a great cause, all staying local here in the community, man. Man, I tell you what, going into who's hot and who's not, right? So there's some guys out there heating up, and there's some guys out there cooling off big time. We got a new guy taking over the #1 hot spot on the Rubbin' and Grubbin Who's Hot list right now, man. And it's going to be Martin Truex Jr. With the 2 wins, I still kind of felt like Hamlin was going out and getting those consistent finishes. But with the trouble he's had, a couple runs right here, 2 weeks in a row, I tend to feel, man, I really hope he's not kind of slipping back into that where they have a few really good weeks and a few bad weeks. There again, coming to Darlington, I think it's a great racetrack for Denny Hamlin. Going to have to keep an eye on him, but right now, going to kind of drop off the hot list. Going with Martin Truex, like I said, consistent, getting the finishes, got 2 wins. Hottest guy right now on the racetrack, man. Guy heating up. KFB, man. KFB goes out, gets the win right here. I think that this is the guy that is a really momentum guy. On top of that, I think there again, we talk about how important wins and good, consistent finishes are for your race team and the morale. You get guys in the shop working harder. You get guys on your pit crew working harder. You get engineers hungry again to go and find you another, thousandth of a second, 10th of a hundredth of a second, whatever they can get you out there. So I think a win does great things for the morale of the shop and the team. And for this guy to come off one there at Kansas, turning around, going to Darlington, I think it could possibly be a great big win for him again. Another guy could get it done, man. Great race car driver, getting hot, heating up as we move into the summer months. Now, with that being said, I will say the summer months have not always been kind to Kyle Busch, so that's why I've got him right there kind of in the middle of the list. We're just going to have to see where he goes from here, but I think as of right now, he's only heating up, man. Hey, can't say enough about this guy. Looking for a ride next year, Matt Benedetto, man. Not only going out and getting that stage win at Talladega and leading some laps out front on that field there, turning around right there in that last stage, a really good chance to win that race at Talladega. It was right there. I don't know if it was spotter or if it was driver, but I think they kind of made that wrong move, and I think when he made it, he knew it, but at that point it's too late. He went high when he should have kind of stayed low. That run was coming, and then when the upper lane got that run coming, you had guys jump out to try to make the pass right there, and kind of hurt his chances. Left the door open, and Brad Kay went on to get that win, but good consistent finish there for Matt Benedetto again. Turns around right here at Kansas, 4th place finish. gets the job done. I feel like bringing that car home in one piece, going out, competing, getting those top fives, gaining those points back, moved him into the good side of that playoff bubble. So I think there again, that is just one thing you got to keep an absolute eye on. Matt Benedetto heating up, man, doing it big. So big congrats to him. Big round of applause to Matt Benedetto and the Wood brothers, man, for bringing that car home and showing some good consistency, good strong runs in that Penske motor and Penske stuff they got going there, man. So I really like that technical alliance, man. Hey, as I said earlier, Denny Hamlin to me, starting to show some struggle signs, man. Starting to wind it down, cooling off a little bit. No need to panic if you're a Denny Hamlin fan. I feel like the guy can go out and get it done this week. Just like I said, it's got to be on my who's not this week. Right there, first spot on it. Cooled off a little bit for me to put him down there. Hate to do it, but I feel like he can't let this team slip too much further. 3 bad runs, going to hurt the morale and what they've been doing and the consistency they showed and the good race cars they're bringing. So I think it's time for Denny Hamlin to go out and get the job done, and that 11 FedEx team at Joe Gibbs, go out, get that job done as soon as possible and get that momentum built back into that race shop and that race team, man. Hey, Kyle Larson on the not list right now again. The guy is absolutely dominating mile and a half, going out leading laps, killing the race, getting those stage wins, but the issue being there, right there at the end of it, not being able to lead the most important lap, and that's the last lap, and that's kind of hurting them big time right there. Showing dominance at Atlanta, showing dominance at Vegas where he got that win, turning around and showing dominance again this week at Kansas, leading a lot of laps, just not getting the job done. Got to be on the not list. Moving right along, Joey Logano, another guy I feel like slipping down a little bit. You would expect him to have a lot more runs right there. You would expect him to do, being competing for wins up there every week. Seems like he's had struggles the past couple weeks. So I think that's another guy who was hot, starting to cool off, who's getting into who's not. Like I said, Joey Logano is going to round out the who's not list for the week, man. That's all it is for who's hot and who's not. Want to give a big shout out to Rubbin and Grubbin sponsor, Arbor Man Tree Service out there, man. Like I say all the time, if you guys need any kind of tree service and evaluation, maybe something trimmed back for hurricane season coming up here in the next few months, man. Like I said, definitely make sure you give my buddy Parker Eccles a call over there at Arbor Man. He'll definitely take care of you. Do a great job. Like I say all the time, no job too big, too small, no tree too tall, man. Make sure you give Parker a call. That's the man for the job, man. Thank you, bud, for everything you do for us up here at Rubbin and Grubbin. Greatly appreciate the sponsorship, man. Moving right into the Darlington Throwback Weekend. This is going to be one of the greatest races. I love this race here. Darlington is such a historic fame track in NASCAR. The lady in black, man, everybody earning their stripes around there. Definitely going to be probably a pretty difficult track to tame this time. It's going to be a little bit warmer. I think it's going to be a little slick, a little bit more than what we're used to seeing in September. Not quite that bad, but definitely going to be a little bit different, man. So that's definitely going to be something cool. Goodyear 400 on Mother's Day, going to be 293 laps. You got stage 1 in and on 90 laps. You got stage 2 into 95 laps, and the final stage is going to be 108 laps, making a total of 293. Going to be an absolute great show. 100 miles shorter than the Southern 500 that comes up here later on this year, which we all love that one as well. But what a great weekend. Mother's Day and Throwback, man. Just a list of some guys that some of these drivers are paying tribute to out there this week. If you hadn't had a chance, go out, go check NASCAR.com. They got every car that's going to be run through the series. Throwback scheme tells you who's driving, who it's a tribute to, man. Take a look at that. Come back on. Comment again on our YouTube stuff. Let us know what your favorite scheme was. But you got throwbacks to Bill Elliott, Alan Kuwicki, Mark Martin, John Andretti, Ricky Craven, Mario Andretti, Hut Strickland, Wendell Scott, Neil Bonnet. Man, I'm telling you, you got a lot of guys they are throwing it back to out there, man. So definitely, like I said, check that out on NASCAR.com. Come back on our YouTube channel. Let us know which one was your favorite scheme of the weekend, man. And, we'll definitely get back to you on that for sure. Robert Presley and Dale Sr., also a couple guys on there. Dale Sr.'s is pretty neat. It's like an Olympic throwback scheme, which I thought was pretty cool for him and for them to do. So like I said, that's a really cool one, man. You know, Brad Keselowski starting from the pole, got that first pit box there at Darlington, which can definitely pay dividends on not only track time, how long you're on, but definitely the race off pit road. So another guy that can heat up right there, coming off a win a couple weeks ago at Talladega. Coming back, another guy with some momentum, man. But that's going to move us right on into our top 5 picks of the week. Now, I know I said I moved this guy off of the hot list this week, but I still think at Darlington he's got a really good chance to go out and get this win this week. That's going to be Denny Hamlin in the 11 FedEx car. As I said, I think it's time for him to go out, get that win for his team, put him in the win category, start focusing more on later on in the season, what they're going to have to deal with adversity-wise, starting to maybe come up with some new setups or how to tweak some setups that they've got now, make them a little bit better. So I definitely think it's important for him to go out and get that win, get that momentum built back into that race team. 2 for me, we just talked about him, the guy starting from the pole, 6th career win right there at Talladega, tying a couple greats in the sport. It's got to be bad Brad Keselowski, Brad K out there. I think this is the guy at Penske that's definitely turning it on. You looked at Ryan Blaney, you know, still doing hot right now. He's doing big things, got a win in Atlanta, good race car there, good race again at Kansas, didn't quite get the finish right there, tussling with Larson late. But Brad Keselowski showing the same type of dominance and performance. Another guy driving that 2 Miller Lite, I think this week, could be throwback, I'm sure, to somebody. But hey, man, like I said, 2 car running strong again, going to be 2 on my list. 3, a guy there again, heating up, good run there, good finish at Talladega, good finish at Kansas. It's going to be the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. As I said, I think the guy's heating up. Darlington, another really good racetrack and performance for him, you know, to come out and do what he does. So I think there again, if the 14 gets it together, I think if they get a good car off the trailer, you know, in the early stage, kind of figure out what the track's going to do a little bit, stay ahead of it, get out front, lead some laps, win a stage maybe, got a good shot at getting the job done as well, man. 5 for me, I can't come to Darlington and leave out my boy Chase Elliott. I think that he runs very well there. I think that it's a guy that's going to be running very well there. 4 for me, you know, I think it's a guy that's got to win. And I think he's going to maybe possibly get it done this week at Darlington. I know he's done it before. He can go out and do it again, man. So I'm really pulling for my boy and hoping my boy Chase goes out there and gets the job done this weekend. 5, Kyle Larson, 5 car, man. I've said it. I think this guy is the best at 1.5 miles. Darlington, a little bit more of a different style racetrack than what we're used to on some of these other 1.5 miles, but I think it definitely pays dividends to a guy like Kyle Larson that knows how to get up against that wall, find speed up there, maintain great speed, do the best that he can, make it happen, and get the job done, man. So like I said, from what he's been showing on 1.5 miles over 3 races that I've seen, maybe this is where he goes out and finally becomes the other multi-time winner, leading some laps and finally getting the checkers. So we're gonna have to wait and see on that. Dark horse for me, another guy that we had mentioned, you know, earlier in the show, man, about a guy heating up. I think the 21 Wood Brothers team of Matt Benedetto driving. I think what a historic racetrack, not only for the Wood Brothers, but for that era in NASCAR. I really think that these guys got to hurry up and get the job done. I think that it's just something that's great for them. You know, I think that they're heating up. They've got to get the win soon just to show the rest of the stuff that they have going on in the equipment and the races that they can go out and win points and get a better position instead of that bubble position on that racetrack. It's just something that they've got to do, man. You know, I think you can go out and get a couple good finishes, but the consistency over the next 5 to 6 will tell me whether they've got something figured out and they're getting a little bit better with their program, or if these 2 races were just really good racetracks that they kind of circled on the calendar and built cars that they knew were going to run good for. So we'll see the consistency over the next few weeks, but those are going to be my top 5, and the dark horse running right there, man. So we'll have to see if Benedetto goes out and get another good finish this week, but I tell you what, man. So that gets us into the rubbing, man. Cinco de Mayo, like I said, nothing better. Not throwing tacos down, but we're going with a little chips and salsa and queso. A couple Coronas right here, man. You know, no better way of doing it, Cinco de Mayo, than a quick little snack, man. Cold cerveza, got the limes, got everything we need, man. So as soon as we sign out here, you know I'm going to be eating some chips and salsa, man. Like I say, big shout out to you guys for staying Like, share, follow, all the stuff we do on our social media, man. Check out our YouTube channel, subscribe. As I say all the time, helps us do nothing but build momentum to raise more money for these charities and the here at Coaches, man. Hey, stay tuned. Coach Carl, AD Chad Griffin, man. They do a great show coming to you live right here at Coaches Corner Sports Network. Make sure you tune in. Check out the newest podcast show from Travis and Spencer on Hot Grits, doing their thing. Coach Carl also doing another show, Kyle Lawson, who's on first base, keeping you up to date on everything MLB. Definitely keeping it what you need to know about your Braves, what's going on in the NL, what's going on in the AL, what's happening in the league in general. Their looks at it. Great show, man. Got to stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for your love, not only for me, but all the shows coming to you live from up here at Coach's Corner, man. Big shout out to John and Adele Henderson, as we do every week, for letting us come up here and put on this great NASCAR show. Help them, help us, help y'all. Man, I tell you what, two people that do an amazing job at doing good things for this community. So as every chance I get, always going to give them a big shout out, man. Big pat on the back. Hey, guys, thanks again tuning in. Rubbing and Grubbing every Wednesday, 6 o'clock, live right here at Coach's Corner, the center of the universe, man. You guys make sure you enjoy your Cinco de Mayo. Stay safe out there where you got to. Still mask up, man, and above everything else, man, make sure you guys wash your hands. Love y'all. See y'all next week.